the phone right now and bringing Nuggets General Manager Tim Connelly, who's very happy about the Emmanuel Mudiay pick. Tim, question: the Sacramento Kings and the guy who's running that operation now, Vlade Divac, said they liked Mudiay, but Divac didn't want to draft him because Mudiay would not come into Sacramento to work out for the team. He didn't come into Denver either. So, what got you over that hurdle?
A lot of game film. Mudiay only worked out for the top 4 teams. Certainly at this time of year, it's kind of an agent-driven process. So we don't want to be misled by the kind of, after the competitive part of the evaluation process is over, the games are over. We don't want to be too swayed by how the workout interview process goes. So we felt good. We watched him play a ton in high school, and then certainly it was a limited amount of games. But he still played 12 games in CBA, so we felt pretty good about him.
Tim, that's what the question that didn't seem to come up today, that the one drawback about him is his mid-range jumpers. I thought that he shot well from the three-point line, that he's a slasher to the basket, that he's a guy that, as Mark said yesterday, can really work off the pick and roll. When I saw Magic Johnson and when I saw Julius Erving come into pro basketball, neither one of them were very good shooters. Is this something that can be overcome, or is it something that doesn't bother you at all about his one negative that people have about him?
No, yeah, fair question. I think the shooting is kind of the final stumbling block that could potentially prevent him from being an elite player. I think he's actually a pretty good shooter. I think he's so programmed to play make and get to the rim at times. He's a reluctant shooter. I don't think the mechanics are broken. I think off the bounce he's a pretty good shooter when he's not thinking about it. He's just naturally a setup guy and an attack guy. I think it's the one skill that generally develops pretty quickly. When Jason Kidd came in the league, he couldn't buy a shot. I think he's finished as the all-time leading three-point maker in league history. So we actually think, while it's something that certainly needs a lot of work and some improvement, we're not too concerned about his shooting long term.
With you and every other GM in the league, drafting, scouting 18, 19, 20-year-olds, what about an especially young player, or all these young players, do you look for so you can most accurately project what the player will become at age 22, 23, 24?
Yeah, it's hard, and there's no crystal ball, and we don't know. We're guessing, but we look for trends. Positional size is oftentimes a pretty good indicator, coupled with athleticism. Does he have elite skills? I mean, what does he do, and how does he get on the court? I think pedigree guys. If you look at all-stars, there's some wild cards, but oftentimes these guys are identified early on. They're top 10 high school players. They go to the elite colleges and produce at a certain level. So there's no be-all and end-all, but we have a bunch of different trends and metrics that point us in the right direction. And, Emmanuel's one of those guys that kind of checks all those boxes.
Tim, this is very much a point guard league these days, especially in the Western Conference. You've got the likes of Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. You've got Conley. D'Angelo Russell's going to be in L.A. with the Lakers now. I'm sure I'm missing 4 or 5 great ones. But how important is it to have that guy at point guard these days in the NBA?
I think it's huge. Also, I think what's becoming more and more common and it becoming a real weapon, if you're fortunate enough to have it, is multiple playmakers. I think the success that certainly Golden State's had, the more guys who know how to do something with the ball, you can play second side pick and roll. If you can get to that weak side and you still have a playmaker, you're not so dependent on one ball handler, the better. I think it's the most talent-rich position I've seen in the modern NBA, where there's no nights off. Guys at the bottom of the rankings are excellent players, so I don't think you can hide at the point guard position. And I think it's invaluable to have guys that can play that position and do so, not just setting guys up, but on the other end, can they defend that position? Are they versatile? They're big enough, strong enough, and athletic enough to defend more than just one position. And again, we got lucky that Emmanuel checks all those boxes.
Tim, I'm not a math major, but when I counted up that there are 11 players on the roster, and I did this a few months ago, 11 players on the roster you brought in. In addition to Mudiay, You did have a second-round draft choice. It looks like a stash kind of guy. Forgive me if that's a bad way to refer to him. But you're getting a guy that you drafted last year, Jokic. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you? You're still in the process of building, but that would be close to 12 or 13 players you brought in a short period of time. How much more changing do you want to do before the next season starts?
You know what? I got to do a better job building because I got here. We had 57 wins. The last few years we've been 36-30. So I have to do a better job identifying guys that can ensure that win totals are not going to be something that we consistently see. We're really excited about Jokic. He's a guy that we liked. We thought we were a year early on. We thought with continued development he'd be a short-5 first-round pick. He put together a heck of a year in Serbia, MVP of the Adriatic League, and he'll be in town. I think the end of this week. So we have to just keep messing around with the roster until we find a fit that Coach Malone really feels good about, and we get back to the winning ways. So certainly, as excited we are to have Emmanuel, it's not fun to be in the lottery. It speaks to the disappointing season that we had last year.
Tim, I know you are immersed and passionate about basketball and scouting and roster building, and I know you're not a Twitter guy.
This sounds like a dangerous setup here.
It is a dangerous setup, but this is a setup. This is something you need to check out on the internet today. Les Shapiro brought his hookah pipe into the studio. And that's my way of asking, how confident should I be, or any of us be, that Ty Lawson wants to be a member of the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, Ty wants to be here. He's told me that countless times. Certainly, we're interested in having guys that want to be here, and we want self-motivated guys. It's hard enough to win. It's even harder when you want it more than the guy. So no, Ty's never ever told us anything to the contrary. Ty's a good guy and a very good player. And he's one of us right now.
Tim, really appreciate your time, and I know it was last second. I know you got a lot going on today. You got a kid in town named Mudiay that you need to tend to. So we'll let you go, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, Tim Connelly, the general manager of the Denver Nuggets. And that segment was sponsored by John Elway Cadillac of Park Meadows. That's Colorado's #1 Cadillac dealer.